The English Teacher is a fictional autobiography or an autobiographical novel written by R.K. Narayan. The novel is dedicated to his wife Rajam. It was published in the year 1945. Let us know something about R.K. Narayan now. R.K. Narayan's full name is Rasipuram Krishnaswamy Iyer Narayanaswamy. He was born in the year 1906 and he passed away in 2001. He was an Indian English writer. He wrote fiction, mythology and non-fiction. He sets his novels in his fictional South Indian town Malgudi. He highlights the social context and everyday life of his characters. He had a literary career of over 60 years. He received various awards like the Padma Bhushan, the Padma Vibhushan, A.C. Benson Medal and Sahitya Academy Fellowship. He was also nominated to the Rajya Sabha. The story starts in the hostel of Albert Mission College located in Malgudi. Krishna had been a student in the same college. Now he is a lecturer in English. He finds his job and life tiresome and filled with boredom. One of the reasons being that he cannot work on his own poems and intellectual pursuits as teaching demands its own energy and time. He is uninterested in his students and is happy to hear the bell ring to the end of the class. Then what is Krishna's dream? He is self-critical, compares himself to a cow that does nothing but ruminates on dead grass. He is particular about his ways and almost trying too hard to fit himself in a Western mold. The Western mold here is referring to the English language and the English accent that the British follow in Albert Mission College. This adds to his frustrations and makes him feel pessimistic about his circumstance. It is a dream to become a poet. That is, Krishna had dreamt to become a poet, even though he struggles to write voraciously. But he has a good sense of humor and uses it cleverly to spread cheer in his college and students. Let us see how he is reunited with his family. Krishna is going through a midlife crisis and feels uninspired and lonely. He is away from his family and misses living with his lovely wife, Susila, and his daughter, Leela. One day, he gets a letter from his father telling about his wife and daughter. They are coming to live with him in Malgudi. His mother also comes to stay with them. Krishna is happy, at least for some time. He is reunited with his family and says goodbye to his bachelorhood. How was this lady, Susila? He seems to get a new lease on life. Susila is an exact opposite of Krishna. She is spiritual and impulsive. She is very wise for life. The character sketch of Susila is emblematic of Indian woman, her culture and tradition. Krishna is a dreamer and lacks a grasp of the practical life, while Susila exhibits common sense and practical wisdom. She complements and fulfills the shortcomings of Krishna. This is what makes their bond strong and enduring. But what happens in Krishna's life all of a sudden? The loss. But soon the tide turns for the worst. First, due to the number of bodies, the current house is not suited and fit for their family. Hence, they look for a new house. They go in search of a new house into the streets of Malgudi. While they are on their search, Susila is stung by an insect and falls sick. She gets typhoid and unfortunately cannot recover. Tragedy strikes their home and Susila dies due to her illness. The loss of his beloved wife derails Krishna. He is disconsolate and stricken with incurable grief. He becomes disenchanted with his job and personal life. His only refuge and reason to live is his baby daughter, Leela. Therefore, he spends all his energy and affection on her, and she becomes the center of his world. Something else takes place in the life of Krishna now. Krishna often loiters around a pond. On his frequent visits, he encounters a hermit, the sannyasi or the sage. The sannyasi claims to necromancy or his ability to communicate with the dead and their spirits. Unable to resist the temptation, Krishna decides to try the spiritual route in order to reach his beloved wife. Krishna yearns to talk to his departed wife and entertains the sannyasi's claim. He successfully communicates with Sushila's spirit. This act as a shot in the arm of Krishna, who is reinvigorated to turn his life for the better. There is a new beginning in Krishna's life. Revitalized, Krishna goes and interviews for a job at a new children's school. It is the same place where his daughter Leela studies. Interestingly, the headmaster of the school has a contrasting character to Krishna. He is eccentric in his approach and committed to his students. He has a far more optimistic outlook on life and is a lot happier than Krishna. He knows that the beauty of life is in enjoying brief moments of happiness. This is what impresses Krishna. He is spiritual and pursues to obtain inner satisfaction, but Krishna is a changed man by now. So, Krishna follows the path of the headmaster. The headmaster of the school is delighted to learn about Krishna's inspired theories and plans for imparting education to the young kids. Krishna quits his job in the college and joins the new school. To add another boost to his spirits, he is directly conversing with the spirit of his dead wife for the first time. He forgets his sorrows and develops a fresh and positive outlook on his life, vocation, and purpose. So it is now, after knowing what happened to Krishna, his life, and how his journey was, let's highlight the key thoughts in the novel, The English Teacher. The English Teacher is a remarkably exultant account of the love shared between a man and his wife. It honors the mundane details of a homely life infused with momentary tiffs, activities like reading and shopping together, childcare, house hunting, etc. Narayan is able to extract and use the tranquil contentment out of his own marital experience. He too was an uninspired and unsatisfied English teacher once. His wife Rajam, that is R.K. Narayan's wife, and their marriage transformed him both as a person and writer. Now Susila is none else but Rajam in R.K. Narayan's life. The story of Krishna's life, happiness and grief are both relatable and inspirational for many. Even the flirtations with the supernatural, philosophical and metaphysical are understandable. The tragedy of human loss and the yearning to regain the lost love is not subject to the mortality of flesh and bones. Narayan gives a theory of death where it is just the culmination of the physical existence. The soul remains eternal and preserves the emotional synapses within it. So, the story in the novel The English Teacher ends with a very optimistic note wherein Krishna is reunited with his wife's soul. So, this is how R.K. Narayan brings about many of his autobiographical elements in his novel The English Teacher. Thank you, dear students.